Want to see some different patterns that can be made with just 3 yarns. Excuse me, 3 yarns. And maybe some fresh picking. If anything, if you would like to see either one of those things or any combination of those, hang out with me. Come on, grab your project, grab your drink. Good morning. Welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn and I'm glad you're here today. Whether you are just now coming in to my craziness or whether you have been here for a video or two or all of them. I know you're out there. Regardless, I am so appreciative of the time that you're spending with me today because guess what? We all know our time is valuable. And I know there's people that think their time is more valuable than others. It doesn't matter what other people think, honey. It matters what you think. Your time is valuable regardless of what value anybody else puts on it. Make sure that you do know that. Because you're valuable, so any amount of your attention is valuable. And I appreciate you hanging out with me and deeming me worthy of spending some of that time. Now, yep, the wind chimes are talking. Welcome to take 2 of this video today. I did the video. I was enjoying myself and just having a blast with y'all, and realized the entire time that AC unit was loud as mess. So I deleted all of it. I didn't even keep it, but I have very little storage left on that phone. Even though I delete things constantly, somehow I think the older it gets, I mean, that phone is almost 6 years old. So, yeah. Anyway, now, all right. So I had talked about in an earlier video, I don't remember which one, but I had talked about using some of the yarn that I was intaking, right? So that if I showed a yarn this week, I would make something and show you next week. Something along those lines. Well, this is not, oh, pardon me. That's a lot of caffeine, or carbonation. It's not a lot of caffeine. It's 70 milligrams of caffeine in these things. But anyway, so in my bag, yes, I use my own product. And this baby holds 3 cones of cotton yarn and all of my projects. And it has been running around. It has ran around town with me. It's ran a few towns over with me. It's run around my house. I love my totes. All right. And the only reason why I wasn't using my drawstring bags is because I needed the bigness of this tote. All right. So Meredith had sent me a box of yarn that she was getting rid of because she didn't use it. And rather than it just sitting there going to waste, she asked me if I wanted it. I showed y'all that yarn. That was that big old box of yarn. I don't remember what I said I was going to make with it. Do y'all? Because if I don't write it down, I don't remember it. So I'm wondering if I need to be one of those podcasters that should write things down ahead of time so that I'll remember to talk to y'all about them. But that's really not my problem. And I used to have my notebook here on my laptop, on my work table. But I moved it because every time I turn around, I'm having to move things off my work table so that I can work, right? Okay. So, let's get us started. We are doing all of this with 2 yarns. No, wait. No, 3 yarns. We are using a cone, actually, 2 cones of freshly pressed by Lily Sugar and Cream, And one cone, I think this is sage. Meredith, if you remember, I think this is the color sage, though. I know that Lily Sugar and Cream has a sage mist, but it's more of a minty. It has a little bit lighter tone, so I think this is sage. We're going to call it sage for the duration of this video. Okay? That's what we're going to do it. All right. So that's what I was talking about, my little thing carrying around 3 cones of yarn. Now, right here, y'all see that? That was the beginning of the very first project when I sat down and decided that I was going to start using some of that cotton. Because when I had my crown sale, y'all wiped me out of all of my hand knit kitchen towels. So I made that, and as you can see, it's starting to color pool. I don't mind color pooling. Oh, my fingers and my fingernails are purple. I'll explain more about that in a minute. But I don't mind color pooling if I'm trying to make it color pool. I was not wanting it to color pool. But I was doing this at like 8 or 9 o'clock at night. Yes, I know I should be in bed at that time. That's my good sleeping time. But I was in here. And y'all know what I have told y'all, this is my happy place. It is my happy place. So when I am, even if it's just knitting or crocheting, I don't even have to be sewing. But being surrounded by all of the fibers, whether it's in yarn or whether it's in fabric, it brings me peace, okay? So I was in here knitting away the other night, and when I did see it starting to color pool, but I'm like, no, it won't last. It did. You saw how long it lasted in that picture. So I left it. I left it alone. I said, let me see it in the light of day, see if it irritates me that bad. It did. It irritated the mess out of me. So I ripped it out. And then I started on just using freshly pressed. So I just simply cast it on that morning, and that's it. That way I have it for car rides. Yeah. I've been in the car a lot, and I didn't touch that. I had it, I just didn't touch it. Because you know why? I got started on other things. All right, I've been doing the granny squares on Fridays, right? Or not necessarily granny squares, but squares. I mean, hey, June is Granny Square Month. That was news to me until Meredith told me. But now, okay. I made this square and showed y'all that you can turn a waffle stitch into a granny square. This is acrylic yarn. I made one in cotton yarn. Now, why would I do that, you say? Because I wanted to. But y'all, this is so squishy. So I thought, what better than to make a pot holder? Which technically it's not a pot holder. Do not grab a pot with this thing. This thing has holes, honey. If it has holes, you can burn yourself. I know. I know y'all know this already. It's not like I'm telling you anything new. But I can't tell you the amount of times I have burnt myself using my crocheted pot holders when they should just be trivets. Okay? I will be making a solid one. It's gonna actually, no, you know what? Yeah. I'm gonna wait on that a little bit. I'll share that with you when I do it. Okay? Gotta keep the mystery alive, right? don't know why it didn't occur to me to say that in the first edition of this video. Keep the mystery alive. Yeah. Y'all know. Welcome to my craziness, right? So, this isn't as squishy, but it is still squishy. And it's perfect to set a pot on top of, or a hot bowl or something. And it has my hair included. Thankfully, I'm not selling these because I thought about putting them up on the website. But I love these. And you will see why here in a moment. Now, I will put a disclaimer that if you do want a set of these, just message me. I don't mind making them. If you can't or don't want to make them, I don't mind making you a set. Okay. Sorry. A lot of carbonate. That word don't want to come out. A lot of carbonation. Cheesy Pete. All right, I'm regretting that thing being off now. I am hot. If I start putting my hair up, y'all, I thought I was taking care of myself by just putting this tank top on. All right. What's I saying? Oh. Now, so it's not as squishy as its acrylic cousin, but it will suffice in being a great trivet, right? Now, I'm going to show you the next two out of order because I made the last one second and then I made the next one last. If that doesn't confuse you enough. I'm so sorry, y'all. Alright, so I had the sage. So I thought, what about, and I did a combination, and then I thought, what about since I have a solid sage, shouldn't I do a solid freshly pressed? So I did a solid freshly pressed. Is that not beautiful? Now, to me, this reminds me personally of hydrangeas. And if I'm not saying that right, let it go. Be like Elsa. Just let it go. It's not worth coming at me in comments or my emails. It's not worth it. Because I will block you. Now, the reason I say hydrangeas is because my grandmother used to have blue and purple ones. And they always had a little bit of white. Well, you take that plus the green of the leaves. To me, this looks like a hydrangea bush. Especially if you had some, because we used to put the nails, she would put them in the soil to get the different colors. And depending on the type of nail, in one bush, she would have blue, she would have white, and then she would have purple, depending on what the plant was picking up out of the soil. So this very much did look like her bushes. Now, when I combined those together, and I've thought about this, and I said this in the first iteration of this video, which I don't even remember what time I started this iteration, but you know, I would say it's probably about 5-10 minutes according to how hot it's getting in here. So I'm thinking that's about it. But this is a combination of the sage and the freshly pressed. I love how that block turned out. Is that just not beautiful? It's like it's a perfect frame. Oop. Yes, I have not blocked these things. I know Meredith gave me a blocking board, but I have not blocked them. Because all of these were still in my bag because I just finished the project, my last project, to be able to film this today. But I've had a busy day. I'll tell y'all about that in a minute. So, what I think I might do to have 4 of them, I don't know why I would need 4, but you know. I was thinking maybe I should do sage in the middle, and then 2 rows of freshly pressed, and then 2 rows of sage. That might look cute. Or would I lose the definition of that center if I did sage? I don't know. I'd have to try that out. But, yep, there is my waffle stitch trivets. Or pot holders, or whatever you want to call them. It's a free world, honey. Call them whatever you want to call them. But still thinking along that line, I was thinking, I'm glad this stuff ain't wearing off on my, man, it looks like a purple, bluey purple marker exploded on me. So thinking along those lines, Jeezy Pete, this might have to be a fast video because it's getting hot. Hot. I was thinking, okay, more trivets, right? So in that same video, I'm pretty sure in that same video, I did the block stitch, granny square. Now I've done waffle stitch and I've done block stitches. Until I tried those patterns to share with y'all, I had never done them in the granny square form. You could do side to side and then just make it a square, you know, of course. Who hasn't done that in a gauge swatch? But to do it in the circular way of a granny square, I had never done. So this is, I was doing so good in the beginning of doing weaving my ends in, and these two I did not. But to be fair, I did these down at my daughter-in-law's, my son and my daughter-in-law's, and my girl likes to keep it dark in there. She blamed it on my son, saying that he wants the blackout curtains because when he's gaming, he likes it dark so he doesn't have reflections. But he's at work all day. Yes, honey, if you're watching this video, what's your excuse, my love? Yeah, she knows I'm messing with her. But that part is true. He's at work, so, you know, I would have those windows wide open. But see, I believe in sheer curtains or lace curtains. I don't want anything blocking my natural light in any of my rooms. All of my rooms have that. So, yeah. Or they don't have a curtain at all. But y'all, I live in the boonies. I am slap dab in the middle of my property. Nobody's going to be seeing in my windows unless they come in my yard. Now, if they come in by vehicle, I'll know it. If they don't come in by vehicle, Maya will know it and she'll let me know. So nobody's going to be looking at my windows. I'm not even worried about it. Now, sorry about that. Whew. All right. Well, I can attest that cotton bamboo works good. It's not hot. It is a tank top. Where my hair is touching me is irritating me and starting to get me sweaty. But anyway, so I didn't weave in my ends. I wouldn't have been able to see my ends to weave them in. I could see what I was doing well enough, but to try to look in between, yeah, no. So I did this one. This is a block stitch, granny square. And if this is your first video with me, I will have all the links to the patterns down below, okay? Now, this one right here, this was a YouTube video by Meema, M-E-E-M-A, I believe, makes. Again, her channel will be linked down below. She just shows you how to take the regular plain block stitch, and these ends are irritating me. I should have wove them in, but I didn't. I like it, but the sage gets lost. And that tells you how well these colors pair together. Yes, you can see the sage, but when you just glance at it, the sage is lost. I still like it. It still makes me think of a hydrangea. Okay? So then I thought, let's flip it. And I voiced a concern to my daughter-in-law. I had just finished this. When I went down there, I think I had like maybe 3 sides of this last row to do. And she agrees with what I just told you. The sage kind of gets lost. Well, I thought, okay, let's flip it. Let's reverse it. Let's do the granny square clusters in sage and do the single crochet chain 3s in the freshly pressed. Cheesy Pete and Camoli. I have another injury, y'all. I'm not kidding. And that thing hurts. All right. I don't think about it. I just move my legs. And it... if I wasn't sitting down, it would take me to my knees. Okay. So I thought, let's reverse it. Let's do sage with the freshly pressed. I'm going to leave y'all to y'all's opinion on this. Actually, no, I'm going to tell you my opinion. And it's just that. It's my opinion. Y'all know I'm not crazy about green, okay? Especially a sage olive green. It's just not in my colors. I'm not crazy about this one. I do like how... Oop, Cheesy Pete, hold on. I do like how they're not blending in now. They're not hiding. They're not... Boy, I got some crazy old ends going on over here. It's good for contrast, okay? Let's just say that. But I don't like that much sage green. And I know that sounds odd looking at this square here. But this square is all sage green. You take it for what it is, all right? It is a waffle stitch. But here I had hopes of the freshly pressed popping it for me. And it didn't. And that's probably just some hiccup with me, okay? That's all I can say on that. That's probably some hiccup with me. Now, one more thing of sage and freshly pressed, and this took me the longest, because I had figured out I don't knit or crochet at the speed I did before my concussion. Which is a bummer. I try to give myself grace. But I hate that it takes me longer. Now, I guess the moral of that story is I should be grateful that I can do it at all. And I am. Don't get me wrong. But there's a part of me that says, I wish I was the way I was. I'm human. I can't help it. Okay, so we already determined that I have more market bags than I know what to do with. But you know what? The market bag is my absolute most favorite thing to make. So I did another market bag. Okay? Now this is Stephanie Zed's market bag. I will link her YouTube tutorial down below. I do not do her normal one and I don't do her large one. This is a mix between the two. Now she normally has you do 19 across here. I do 26. She normally, if my memory serves right, because I have not looked at this, and this is the first market bag post-concussion. So I might be saying it wrong, but I don't know. I know that it was 19 stitches across here, and I think it was 32 rows. Well, I do 26 chains and 36 rows. So it's like a, to me it's a large bag, because her one size to me is like a medium-ish bag. This is a large bag to me, And then her big one is an extra large. But y'all see this? That is a big bag. That's a big bag. In fact, just sitting like that, if I were to spread it, and I'm holding it just like this, and I'm literally just laying it down on my table here, that's 25 inches. And that's not even, I'm not even stretching it hard. I did, when I first started making these, I think this size held 28 4-ounce balls of Lily Sugar and Cream. It holds a lot, but I love it. I think this color combo worked really, really well in the mesh market bag. And if you do want some mesh market bags that you don't want to have to make, I have plenty of them. And they are on 40% off right now on my website, which is linked down below too. It will be the very first thing. Normally I put my website, I put all the links for everything else first. But I will put my website at the very tippy top this time. Just this one time. Because I don't need any more market bags, y'all. I don't need them. But I love making them. I love making them. I don't need to make them, but I love them. Alright. So, in Meredith's goodie box of all the cotton yarns that she would not use, she also sent me Shades of Rust from Peaches and Cream. Now, Peaches and Cream is still by Yarnspirations. It is just labeled for Walmart. Okay? Sometimes you'll have the same exact colors in Lily Sugar and Cream and then Peaches and Cream. Sometimes you won't. Some colors, like there's a pink that you can only get in Peaches and Cream that you can't get in Lily Sugar and Cream. So, this one is Shades of Rust. And there's only one, and I don't remember who recommended it. I just remember the comment that I should do a chicken pot holder from Bag O' Day. So, I went to Crystal's webpage. I went to Crystal's YouTube. And I looked it up. The minute you told me you recommended it, I looked it up and I saved her video. I put it in my save for laters. Because I knew I wasn't going to do it at that moment. But I didn't want to forget. And I put it in my save to watch later so that I wouldn't forget. And y'all, I made it. And I'm going to make another one. I love Crystal's tutorial. Okay, this has nothing to do with her tutorial. It has everything to do with the Shades of Rust. Now, me and my daughter-in-law was talking about it. All right, the cone, I think it's the comb on top of the chicken's head, and the wattle below his chin are red. Chickens don't change some chickens, those two do change colors, but that's a lack of oxygen. That means a poor health chicken or frostbite. But typically they're bright red. Yeah, see the shades in this thing. It's called Shades of Rust. So you might not be able to see. Isn't it so precious? I love it. Now, do I need any more pot holders? No, I don't. But this thing was so stinking fun. And you see how you see how it's kind of, they kind of blend in, right? That's not just me thinking that, right? My daughter-in-law said I could have done the Shades of Rust on everything but these fan stitches, and then did the fan stitches in like white or another color, and then that would make these stand out more. I don't know. Maybe. But wouldn't that be a funny looking chicken? I could try it, I guess. I mean, I have enough. But it's definitely going to get partners. Now, I hope my daughter-in-law don't watch these videos normally. But I might be giving these to her. Shh. She loves chicken things. I love chickens. I love growing them. I love raising them. I love talking to them. And I love sitting out there listening, especially when they're laying eggs and that you hear their egg song. Yeah. I love chickens. But I don't have chicken decor. So I really wouldn't keep this for myself. But you want a good little tutorial for chickens? Crystal's Bag a Day. She has a great tutorial for this. And it was so pretty. Now, I knew how to increase on a circle. I've done plenty of hot pads in my life. But the way she does that V, I was like, okay. And I mean, she does it immediately. You don't even truly, you tighten your magic circle, but you don't complete your magic circle. She has you just automatically coming straight into that second row. And I'm like, the second round, I'm like, okay. But this baby lays perfectly flat, and I love it. So, probably another one coming. All right. Now, that's it for the yarn. If that's what you came, thank you. I appreciate every second you stayed with me. Now, the other thing in my picture and in my title. I found out I'm a cheapskate. I had a ball, okay? Me and my daughter-in-law, we had been looking for a place to pick berries. We wanted blueberries, because there's one right down the road from us. He has a sign out quite often. He hasn't had one out this year, so we went elsewhere. But his place was the reason we wanted to find the local berry place, because we love blueberries. My grandson loves blueberries. I eat a lot of them when I'm trying to do my meal plans, because it's a very good fruit, and I add it to my smoothies. I add it as snacks. And y'all saw, I showed you in the thumbnail. I don't know if anybody pays attention, but this right here, it is a gallon of blueberries. Are they not gorgeous? Look at how beautiful those babies are. Oh, wait. It burst. But y'all see how beautiful those are. I'm trying to get it in the natural light. Now, I don't know how long it took us. I did record a little clip, and I'll put it at the end of the video here. I made sure that, my daughter-in-law and my grandson wasn't in it, or any other people. But, sorry. I've been doing really good. They've been sitting here this entire time, and I hadn't touched them. Man, those things are good. Okay. So, we wanted to go berry picking. And we had been waiting all season. Because last year, I told her, I was like, I think I saw his sign in May. So we went looking. Well, as y'all know, and Hannah, you're welcome for sending you all that rain. But at the beginning of spring and throughout most of spring, we were in a drought, okay? So I'm not surprised that the berry picking season didn't start. I think they just started. Today is June 9th. So you're seeing this tomorrow on the 10th. But I don't think they started till June 1st or 2nd. So I'm not surprised. But we've been looking, okay? And we're also looking for a you-picked strawberries as well. Because I use those too, and so does she. Because she makes a lot of the homemade ice pops for my grandson. And let's face it, These things are wonderful in muffins, pancakes, anything you can think of. You can do blueberry bread. That sounds yummy. Alright, here to quit. Sorry. I don't chew gum on here because I think it's impolite. I'm sitting here eating blueberries. So, if at the beginning of the video you saw blueberry stuff in my teeth, that's why. That's why my hands and my fingernails are stained because of blueberries. It's so funny because the lady that runs the place, I think it's her place, she said she keeps her nails blue. She paints her nails blue. And I said, yeah, I can kind of see why. But anyway, the cheap part of me got brought very, very close to the front. Now, when we left home this morning, we were under the impression it was going to be $12.50 per gallon. Because that's what I read on the internet. We finally get out there. Because it is not, it's about 30 minutes away. We finally get out there. And I'm talking back roads. And I love it, you know. I love it. And we had to explain to my grandson why we couldn't go and get this in town. Or we couldn't pick these in town. Why were they so far away? I said, because you're not going to get the land needed to be a blueberry farm of this thing in town. So, we get out there. There's nobody at the stand. A couple minutes later, a young child comes up, and she's telling us how to strap on the thing and everything. But there's no instructions, nothing. This is just this little girl. I didn't know her grandmother was out in the field. Or in the bushes, in the trees, in the rows. Until we got out there. And we got out there, and the lady, the grandmother, directed us, you know, she's like, if you go not this row, not that row, but the next row, like the third row over, there's plenty of them. We didn't even make it to the third row. The second row, not the row right beside her, but the row next to that one, was packed full. I mean, these trees, and they were taller than me, and they were taller than my daughter-in-law, and my daughter-in-law's 5'11". I'm a short thing at 5'6.5", okay? I'm short. But anyway, there's some big old trees, and they were covered in blueberries. Oh, I had such a blast. My grandson had fun too, and he filled up about half of his gallon bucket before he got tired of it, which I'm surprised he did it for that long. I really thought, as hot as it was. Now, we got out there, I want to say about 10 o'clock. We were supposed to get out there way earlier, but, you know, life happens, and we didn't get out there. So, next time, me and my daughter-in-law agree. We're getting up. She's getting up at 7. I'm up before that anyway. She's getting up at 7 so that we both can make sure that we are out there at the blueberry fields by 8 o'clock, 8:30, before the heat of the day comes up. Because this gallon, she got a gallon too, which technically, we paid the same price. Did I mention how much it was? $25 a gallon. For things I pick. But I cannot fault the taste and the quality of these things. Okay. So in a second, I'll do the math. But one night we got home, I was like, Kat, how much did she charge you for yours? She said, 25. Well, mine's 25 too. And I only had the one bucket. She had her bucket and my grandson's bucket. She ended up, mine was 88 ounces. And hers ended up being 108 ounces. So she got just over a pound more than me. And you know what? Great. My grandson will take care of all of those blueberries. I'm not worried about that. But I did notice, you know, Sorry. I think I ate a stem. Which will tie into something I gotta tell you in a minute. But anyway. Okay. That works. Now, I was under the impression that it was going to be $12.50 a gallon. So it was twice as much per gallon. And I was really shocked when she told me that. And I was like, oh, okay. I've already picked these things. I'm buying them. Now for the math. The blueberries that we buy at the grocery store, we get them at Walmart. And we get them in the 16 or 18 ounce. I think it's 18 ounce. Now, this is the organic price for organic, because that's what these are. Organic blueberries. 18 ounce for the $8.47. It comes out to be 46 cents. I don't know. I did it on my phone. And these right here, mine, I did it per how many ounces per the $25. So hers she got for 23 cents an ounce. Mine I paid 28 cents an ounce. I'm not worried about that. I'm just saying that was what we paid. So that's 20 cents an ounce cheaper than something that's probably 3-4 weeks old. These are today old. These are today old. That's how fresh they are. So, I am a cheapskate. But I know the value of this. I really do. So, she said, you know, well, maybe we can come back. And I said, well, I want to come back. But I also want to try these other blueberry farms too. Because you don't know what trees are different. Because everybody's going to have different trees. But we did talk to the lady, the grandma, and we have, you know how we said we were going to do our garden and we were going to have an orchard, you know, not a huge orchard, but we were going to have fruit trees. Well, she's tried blueberry bushes before with no success. So I told her I was going to try them. Well, now we're both going to try them again. But we're going to leave them in containers until we get everything set up out there. And I think what I'm going to do is incorporate them with the fruit trees to see. I don't know. I don't think the fruit trees will need this as acidic soil as blueberries do. But either which way. The lady did recommend that we get 6 of them. 2 of each kind. One that's early. They fruit up in May, or actually the blooms start in May and the fruit comes toward the end of May, beginning of June. And then there's ones that come in like mid-July, and then there's ones that do August and September. So we're gonna get 2 of each one, that for cross-pollination and all that good junk. But it's gonna happen. We're gonna do it. And we did look at our local nursery, and we can get one of the kinds. We're still trying to find, well, I say a local nursery. It's up in Lexington toward Columbia. And we have another one out this way in Aiken. I don't know if they have them. And the lady that answered the phone wasn't very helpful to my daughter-in-law. And I was busy making this so that I could get this video filmed. So, we'll see. But we will get them done. Now, the boo-boo. And how does it tie into the stems of the blueberries? Yesterday morning, we're out walking. Now, It is a very common thing for the boys. Do y'all hear the birds? It's a very common thing for my grandson and my daughter-in-law to walk with me now. And we take Maya with us, so it doesn't wake up my husband, because if we walked out of this house without that dog, she'd be raising teetotal. She'd be raising sand, okay? She'd be just raising sand. And we come across an area in my driveway that was kind of torn up a little bit. Not from a vehicle. It was nature. It was natural. You know, you could see the driveway was a little, disturbed. Well, it stopped Maya dead in her tracks, and she's sniffing and sniffing and sniffing. Well, I point out to my daughter-in-law, I'm like, whatever it was is got over here. And so Maya went off the driveway. We have cleared that land. But that was an area that my son, at the very end of us renting the backhoe, my son was only able to pull stumps. I was not able to move stumps. So it's not smooth. There's still, roots and all kind of stuff sticking up. Yeah, as you can imagine, I got impaled again. It's number 4. I have 4 wounds on my legs since February. I got one the day we got the backhoe. Then I got one. Oh no, 3. I do have 4 holes in my legs. One, the Titan, my husband's truck did. Because I went to go shut the driver's door, and I guess I was walking away, and I did like this behind me, and I shut the door. Well, my left leg was just, I guess, still in range of the very bottom corner of the door, and it ripped a hole in my leg. So sorry. 3. I got impaled 3 times. Once the day we got it, then I was working on the Kubota, moving stumps, and I got off the Kubota for something. And when I went to go get back on, sure enough, on my right leg, I looked down and there was a stick poking out of it. I don't know when it got there. I don't know how long it had been there. I don't think it had been in there very long, because there was very little blood to it. So I'm not trying to gross y'all out. But anyway, I pulled it out, and yeah, blood started. Yeah. So I came home, cleaned it up, put a Band-Aid on it, and went about my business. And then yesterday morning, another one impaled me. Now, so far, the twigs had not gone very deep. The sticks had not, they went deep, but one was on the front of my shin, on my left leg. It's just like, this is my shin bone. It was like right here. So it wasn't very far. It went toward the fatty part of my calf. And then my right one, same area, honestly, just on a different leg. This one is from the back. And the minute it went in, I felt it. And I was like, oh, yikes. And I looked down, and there's a stick hanging in my leg. What had happened is when the dog pulled me, and she was following her nose, I can't even blame her, okay? She is a husky. She was following her nose. And I ended up dropping, when I got impaled by the stick, I dropped her leash, which I'm glad that I didn't even worry about the stick at that point. It was still sticking in my leg. I stepped on her leash so that she wouldn't run. Well, I don't think she would have ran anyway, because that whole big area, and it was probably about a 5-6 foot wide area, was just covered in disturbed earth. So I don't think she would have went anywhere. But what happened is when she pulled me, my left leg was trying to catch up with us, because it's still, like I said, it's not 100%, y'all. My left side, it's leaps and bounds better than it was, but it's not 100%. So my left leg was dragging, I think. And it dragged that stick to where when I went to put my right foot down, it impaled straight in the back of my leg. Well, this is my leg. It went straight in like that right there. And I was joking with my daughter-in-law. I have it bandaged. I cleaned it. There is a hole, I think, in what might be muscle. My daughter-in-law thinks it might be tendon. I don't know. There were striations, so I don't know if that's muscle striations or tendon. It's not my Achilles heel. I mean, it's not my Achilles. It's probably about 8 inches up from my ankle bone. So I know it's not that. But I was joking with my daughter-in-law. I was like, I'm going to become a dryad. I mean, y'all, as much as I've tried cleaning all of these wounds, there's probably some wood left in each one of them. Let's be just honest. I mean, they're all healed except for this new one. But there's probably bits of wood in me. And then I'm eating stems off of blueberries. It was a joke, and if I offended anybody's religious sensibilities, I am sorry. That was not my intentions. But I did say that I was going to become a dryad. It's like my woods are making me. My land is making me one. I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny. She thought it was hilarious because she looked at me and she's like, what? Yeah, I said it. I did. But anyway. So now, the reason I think that it is muscle and she thinks it's tendon is because it's affecting the way I walk. It's not as bad once I get moving because with my peripheral neuropathy, and for those who you don't know, peripheral neuropathy is where you lose sensation in your peripheral nerves, mainly hands and feet. It's worse in my feet. I do have deadened sensations in my hand, and this has been, I want to say, I got diagnosed with that in like 2005, I think. I started losing sensation, but I didn't know why. And then when my feet started really going almost completely numb and not coming back, that's when I went to the doctor. And they did all the little nerve conductive studies and all this, and they said that it's peripheral neuropathy. So, that being what it is, I walk a little weird, okay? Most people, between the peripheral neuropathy in my feet and not being able to feel my feet, I lock my muscles. And with my knees being also complete poo, because the doctors say that I should not be able to walk with my knees because I have no ACL, PCL ligaments that they're there. They're just so stretched out like old rubber bands, and they've been like that since I was an infant. So, my muscles have learned to compensate more so on my knees, but since it has been since roughly 2005 since I actually had full sensation in my feet, the muscles lock in, okay? So when I first get up, I'm not locked into that position of like this right here with my ankle. So I'm still using that muscle right here that got stabbed by the branch. And you can see, I've almost fallen a couple times. And she's like, Miss Lynn, I think you did more than just a muscle. I think you might have done a tendon. I'm like, nah. I said, there's a hole in it. We know that. But if it doesn't heal, then I'll go to the doctor. We all know that, yeah. I don't want any more doctor bills. You would think that I would make sure, yeah. We're not going there either. Anyway, so barring that, I've had a ball the last few days. Because I did want to get a lot of this done. Now, Friday's video will be some new squares. But I don't know if I'm going to go granny squares or stitch sample squares. I do want to do some 3Ds. I'm going to do some of those, some 3D squares. I have a video coming up Monday, I think. I recorded it yesterday. No, day before yesterday. But it is for a Monday slot. So, I think it will be Monday. Anyway, you'll find out Monday when you see it. Anyways, for Friday's video, I do want to, I have not even found the new ones that I want to crochet yet. But my daughter-in-law also said, why don't you have some knit squares? So I'm going to leave that up to y'all. It won't be for Friday's video, this coming Friday, but maybe for the next Friday. If y'all do, or y'all, if you're interested in seeing some knit square patterns, let me know. Because I will knit some squares too. I don't mind. But I know I have a lot more crocheters than I have knitters, or I have more of both that crochet more. But you know, there's nothing to say that knitters don't mind having the easiness of squares too. There's just not as many variations. Let's face it, crochet lends itself to a lot more stitch variations. I mean, you can do lace and knitting, and you can do the knit and purl bumps and stuff like that to get pictures, but you can't do with knitting as much as you can with crochet. And that's not me hating on knitting, because, you know, I love my knitting. So if you do want some knit squares, let me know. And I might, you know, throw a couple of those in there too. Anyway, I'm going to get off here, and I have, wow. I don't know how long I've been talking, because I don't know when I started recording this video. So I'm going to get off here and cut my AC back on and start hunting for squares so that I can get them made for Friday's video, okay? I will see y'all then. Oh, wait a minute. Make sure. One thing. You ready? You listening? Find you some joy. Find, even in the worst of days, I had one the other day, and I wasn't kidding y'all. I came in here, I started knitting. Now, I didn't end on good joy, because I didn't like the color pulling. But I found my joy. And it was, in the crappiest of days, it brought me joy. And it was nothing more than just sitting here, playing with needles and thread. And yarn. I mean, not thread. I mean, it is thread. It's very thick thread, but, you know. So it is possible. But anyway, I'm doing much better. And, you got to let the bad days go. You can't hold on to them. So I'm going to get off here, and I will see you in Friday's video. Until then, take care. Bye. I just figured I would show y'all. I have been blueberry picking. Me, my daughter-in-law, and my grandson are out here picking blueberries. Now I am hiding in the shade. All of those trees over there we've been at with all the big blueberries, but I am in the shade right this moment, trying to pick some blueberries and keep myself a little cool while I'm doing it. So I'm about to go back out over there where all the big, humongous, ripe blueberries are. But I figured I would bring y'all along for just a few seconds. I hope you've enjoyed our trip to the blueberry farm.